Hi and welcome to my playhouse, and today we're in the basement and I'm gonna be trying to do some work on the lithium-ion power bank. I am building a 48 volt lithium-ion power bank, Powerwall copy thingy. So let's see what, well, I haven't been doing any work on this for almost, well, it feels like a year, but it's probably not that long, but it feels that long. So let's see what I'm up to. Might sound a little bit weird because I'm kind of sick. My nose is, well, the transfer of air through my nose is not optimal at the moment. So I'm breathing through my mouth. But let's see the power bank and what the thoughts is here. So this is one of these power banks, and the idea is that there are that's 140 cells here, and these are lithium-ion 18650 cells. I have a lot of those. I showed in a video where I went and got those. I have been discharging. All of these are good to go in banks. Up here we have some other ones that are, well, they're ready to be tested in the test chargers here. Yeah, I've just totally gotten off of that. Also chargers are ready over here, and I have been making banks. I have a total of 4 banks that are not made. This one back here is made. That's more or less ready to go. It's just plug that in. I need to make something to plug it into, so we're gonna be copying that one today, hopefully. In here, in the creepiness of the basement, there is where the power bank is. I have a big lead acid power bank that is gonna be, well, we're gonna be putting the lithium ion batteries right here. I'm hoping to help the lead acid power bank, and this has been running for quite a while. I did the solar panels this summer, some of them. I'd never completed that. I got 2 strings up and running on this one. Battery power is right now 51.5 volts. Let's see what it has done. Yeah, the weather is dreadful, so there's 55 watts coming in, so running my data center off that wouldn't be a good idea. I thought that I would be able to show you how many kilowatts it has been making. Apparently not. Okay, so yeah, we are making a lithium ion battery to help this. This is 24 kilowatt hours of batteries right here. Each of these banks with 140 of these smaller cells is around 1 kilowatt hour. One of these will be able to run something using 1,000 watts for 1 hour. That's a kilowatt hour. So if you have something that only uses 200 watts, it will be able to run that for 5 hours. If it only uses 100 watts, it should be able to run it for 10 hours. It's not the total truth, because the longer time you discharge these, the better the performance is out of them. More or less, if you choose to power something that uses 2000 watts, and this was supposed to last about half an hour, well, because you're discharging them so fast, you're losing some of the power, because that power is going to go out as heat instead of power. So yeah, that's, but for the ease of mathematics, close enough to be okay. So when you have a power bank like that, you actually need to convert the power to whatever you want to use it for, and you use an inverter. I started out by using this old UPS, which has the feature of actually taking in 48 volts, which also are what the power banks supply. I replaced this old UPS because I thought there was a problem. It turned out that it wasn't the UPS, but it was the power that or the data center that I was supplying power to that seemed to be the problem. I found that out when I blew up a good inverter. So this is still good. So I'm gonna keep this one around because I might do something with it at some point. It should be a really good inverter. I have no idea. I'm missing an oscilloscope. I would really like an oscilloscope to be able to see the sinus wave of what comes out of the inverter. But I am pretty deaf and tired of having it sitting right there, so we are gonna move it over there. Got it. So as I've already made one power bank that is kind of okay, I don't feel like I need to think twice. So I'm just gonna be looking, what did I do on that one? And I need to put on the BMS. And this is it's the electronics that controls the batteries in the battery bank. It makes sure that each of these, this 140 cell battery is separated up into pairs of 10. Well, that's not actually a pair, but we have 10 batteries that are parallel. They are then in a serial connection with the next 10 batteries and so forth, and that gets the voltage up. A cell like this should be somewhere between 3 volts and 4.2 volts, and by adding that up you get up to about over 50 volts at the end. But it's good for a 48 volt system, so I want to put the BMS in kind of the same way as I did on this one. Now I have one to look at, so I don't have to do all the thinking again. So I'm gonna start by drilling the holes for this wire that has to go through. That should be simple. So just looking where the hole is up here, we're just gonna put it the same place there, and we're gonna go for the next one. That's about there. And the next one. And then we should probably put one here. I would like to improve on that, whatever I did there. So a hole there. And next one. And there. It's kind of all the places where I haven't put in glue, so I could probably just have done that. So last one up here. Cool. There is a lot of fuses on these batteries up here. This is a bus bar that I've made, and from that bus bar there is the tiniest little wire that goes over to each of the batteries. I tested that wire, and that wire is gonna blow at about 3.5-4 amps of power. So if this cell supplies 3.5 to 4 amps, it will blow the fuse. So the idea is that each of these banks are not gonna go anywhere near that high. And that is kind of why I need to build more banks before I put them into production. Because if I only have one bank and that bank has to supply a lot of power, well, I have the chance of blowing all the fuses, and it takes kind of an hour to put those fuses in. So it doesn't take long to put in one fuse, obviously. It takes a long time to check all the fuses to see which one has blown, but it's really cheap to do it this way. So I'll turn them around, we'll drill on the other side. On the other side it looks like this, and it has this is kind of a, well, it's also kind of a bus bar. It's a piece of metal that you solder on here, and here you can kind of see all of these 10 cells are in parallel and more or less one battery, and the same thing with all of the other ones. And the bus bars on the other side is the one that combines the power output of them. So we can also see here that we have the plus lead, or the positive lead, that goes out. It comes from there. And at the other end we have the negative wire also going out from this side of the battery. So I need to drill some more holes. It seems there's a black wire there, black wire, white wire, white. Okay, I can see I have done something weird here. I'm gonna try and improve on that. It's way easier to drill right. Instead of having the instead of having the wire coming out here, I want it to come out here instead. If I can. So let's drill there instead. There, and we'll do the same thing over here. And there. And here. I am looking that this wire is connected to this bar, so it has to connect to this bar down here as well. So we will put it there, and here it's connecting to that bar. It has been some time since I made this, so and over here we have a red wire coming out, and we have the positive lead, but that's a bit too thick. Okay, so I'm really good at preparing for projects. I'm way worse at actually getting the work done. So I actually have BMSs for the next 4 banks. So we're gonna take one of those, and it should be exactly like the one I have on here. So that's a good thing. These are meant for 15 amps, which is about the power that I wanna take out of these banks. The lower the amperage I can take out of them, the better, the less stress I'm putting on each of the banks, and that's a good thing. They come with these cables, which is for the measurement of the power and the balancing of the batteries. So this is the cable that we're gonna be putting in. I made the mistake last time of putting the BMS on and putting the cable on and then starting to connect this cable. And you're not supposed to do that. You are supposed to put in the big hefty wires first on the BMS, and then afterwards connect this thingy here. So this time I'm gonna connect this without the BMS first. Make sure that all the cables goes out into the right places, and then connect that. Have it sitting here, and then connect the BMS. And connect all the right wires to it first, and then pop in this wire at the end. So yeah, that's the idea right now. Let's make sure that it goes that way. This is a 14S, which I think this is a 14S, which means that there is 14 cells in series. So I'm gonna try and put this in. We will see what to. Probably have to do some changes. So the idea is that the BMS measures the power on each of these cells, not individual cells, but each block of 10. So the red wire is the first one, and that measures these, and then the white wire is going to measure the next one, but we may need to measure that on the other side. So did we make a hole for that? Oh, okay, yeah, it goes out that way. There. So the red wire is on one side of the first cell, and the white wire is on the other side of it, and then the next BMS wire we need to get those out of the way. We'll go further down and measure between the next. Yeah, this is I need to do some thinking here. Okay, so. It looks pretty messy right now. Kind of try to make this look as good as possible. Give this a little bit of wiggle room, and have the wires going out all the directions that they need to. I'm gonna use some hot glue and make sure that they stay there. So we're gonna. Okay, it's not ready yet. Okay, BMS is mounted. Just need to solder some stuff in. So I was kind of putting in these wires. I just couldn't come up with how the power went from here, from this part to this part, because on the other side there was also no connection through here. And well, it's been so long since I made this, so this was I couldn't come up with it until I realized that I have forgotten to put in the connector that is going to connect those two. There is a thin piece of metal, well, it's not that thin actually, that connects this group and this group, and I haven't put those in yet. So I'm gonna do it the same way with this bus wire. This was the first bus wire I bought for this, and it doesn't fit very well, so this is perfect to use for those little stupid pieces. So we're gonna cut some of that up with a pair of scissors. It's very easy to cut with scissors. So how did we cut that last time? Looks like we did that way. Okay, so we need to go from there to there. Okay, so kind of a piece like that, without the middle piece. There. So we have two small bus bars that we need to solder on. So let's put those in first and then make the next two. So that piece is gonna go right there. I'm gonna take a pair of pliers and put it down with, so that if it blows up, it shouldn't, but yeah, we're good to go, no problem there. Yeah, I'm gonna solder that on. Soldering tin there, soldering iron, nice and hot. Would be nice with a little extra solder right there, so we're gonna put that on. Wait. Feels like it has melted. Good. Cool. One down. Not that many to go. So 5 more to go. Okay, so I completed all the bus bars, all the connecting battery cells here. All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, without anything blowing up, which is always a good thing. I have these big beefy, can we see them? No, I can't. We have these big beefy, the positive or the plus lead and the negative lead that we're also going to be putting through. On this one I've put them over the top here. I want to not do that. I want to put it through the plastic, and I have a hole right here, and the negative lead would be able to go down there, and the plus lead could go through this hole here and connect over there. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, but I only have this rather thick wire that I was doing my power bank with, 6 millimeters square. So I need to drill kind of a bigger hole. We can start by well, I don't know why they have done that, but they have made a really ugly end on it. So let's remove that and make sure that it actually fits. Yeah, that's gonna be able. This is the black wire, it's the red wire that needs to go up here, but yeah, same thickness. So don't short circuit anything here, and don't break that one, Morten. Same thing down here. Okay, making the connection now. Have to be very careful when I plug all this together that I don't short circuit anything, because that's gonna be a lot of power going the wrong way. didn't do the minus one as nicely, so I need to remove some strings. There. Oh. Okay, guess that didn't want to sit there. So I put on some heat shrink. I haven't heated it yet, it fits really well already, but we need to heat it. Great. Okay, boy does this look messy right now. I have mounted the negative wire down here. It goes up to the BMS right there. Also, I've mounted the negative wire that goes out to the connector right there. I need to put in the positive lead down there, and then I need to put in all of these smaller leads. They are not as big a problem. The only problem is I don't want to cut them too short, because if I do that I will have a problem. But yeah, working on it. That's that side. I have wired all the little white wires in, and the black and the red one at the end. So the other side, we have to do the same. Here they have to go over and connect to the bus wire. So that is a little bit different. I'm gonna check how I did that last time. Okay, that seems like a good way to do it. So if I will just cut each wire at a good length to reach down there, I think that will be great. So we put that underneath there. Come on. Ow, 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 ow. So, okay, now that is done. All the white wires has been soldered onto these bus bars. So that's all good. We can put the connector in now. I guess everything else is connected. So let's put this in. Let's see if I have left enough room for myself to do that. Yeah, it's not a connector that you want to put in and take out very often. So I just need to hot glue some of these cables and we're done. Yeah, with one more. So we then had two. So let me do some hot gluing. We should be done with this one. Okay, so now we're done. Gonna make sure if I put everything together right. So we're gonna measure the voltage of it. Plus to plus, minus to minus, good idea. And we see 56.1 volts out of it. What do we see out of the old one? 56.1 volt. They should kind of show the same thing, because all of the batteries was charged to maximum before they were put in the bank. I'm just lucky that it does actually show exactly the same. It could easily have been a couple of volts lower or higher or something like that. So awesome! So another 1 kilowatt of power ready to go. Well, I actually do need to make a couple of more before I can actually put them in and get some benefit out of them. Just because if I was to discharge this, it would be more than the BMS could handle, and so I need 4 of them to supply about 60 amps of power, which should be enough. My inverter in there is not able to draw 60 amps, so when I have 4 of these, I'll be good. Nothing should be able to go wrong. Well, everything can go wrong, but it should be good. The lithium-ion battery bank should be able to supply enough power for the inverter by themselves, even if the lead-acid battery bank is not available. So that would be great. So another one is done. Now I have two more to go. This is very time consuming. I am not gonna continue this today. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.